Welcome back to the show, everybody. I've had a few people asking lately, what has Senior been up to? Well, let's go out here and find out. There he is. Finished up a few projects out here, right?
Yep, got some armature lathes I've been working on. I'm about ready to do a test on them, see how they work.
Let's come over here and take a look. So we had 4 of them, right?
4 of them, right.
And now we're down to 3 because we determined one of them needed to be used for parts.
That one's over there.
This was the parts unit, yeah. We found that this head right here was bent. Like maybe it got dropped at one point and...
It would do like a 30 thousandths difference in the taper.
Yeah, it was so bent. Yeah, you'd have like in the span of what, 1.25 inches?
About 1.25 inches.
Yeah, so
30 thousandths off.
It didn't cut straight, it cut cones. So, and we had a broken handle that we needed to find somewhere, so we decided as long as this piece was already junk, we might as well take the good handle off of it and a couple of other minor pieces. So this is kind of a...
And I'm thinking possibly if a guy wanted to spend the time monkeying, these bases could be machined to square this thing up, you know.
But we don't really need to spend the time.
That's more I'm going to get into.
So it went from possibly having 4 armature lathes down to 3, but the 3 that we've got now are pretty well set, ready. Okay, so
this is our original.
This is the one we've had forever. Yep.
And I just went through and did a little monkeying. We didn't have this on. There's a spring that goes in there, keeps this tension against the cutters, so it's adjustable easier.
Yep. They just had kind of a funny bolt in there or something.
Yeah, before, it was a bolt with a nut on it and stuff. So
we got that all put back right, and otherwise this one was in pretty good shape, so not a lot else had to be done to that. And the one that was from the video that I used, you all are familiar with this one and how it works. And
this is the one that had the bent head originally, and this head here come off of that lathe over there.
Yep. We put all the best that we had onto this bed because it was kind of the nicest of the lot, you know. So you all have seen this one work, but the last time you saw the Cadillac model, he pretty much just had the bed painted with some masking and everything else, but it's done now, right?
Yep. It's ready for the test.
All 3 were put on new baseboards.
Yep.
They've all had the motors gone through, and this one now, so yeah, this is the one that has the drive motor like the others, but the separate dedicated undercutter motor. Yeah. Just for that.
And the others are belt drive. And got the belt hooked up on that one.
Got a nice double switch on here, so one switch runs one motor, so you can run them independently, which is nice. And this was the Ford 8N red, correct? You put new paint on it, and that was the closest shade of red that we could find. But yeah, nice tag on there, nice everything else. So should we give it a test?
Yeah.
See what happens?
I got an armature here I dug out. I was about ready to do some testing on that and stuff. Not sure the condition. It's just I had a generator in the stockpile. I just tore it apart, and I figured nothing else is good under practice.
Yeah.
But you can see some marking here.
Okay, that dark spot.
And 180 across.
Yep, another one.
So I was going to do a quick test on this to see if I could find any possible issues with it. So maybe I might do that real quick first.
Yeah. We're doing the same continuity checks here that I did on the Farm All H episode.
Get my fingers off of stuff here. Yeah, I don't see anything shorted into the shaft.
All right, so far those 2 dark spots don't mean anything.
And, you know, you start from here, you can go around, you should have continuity all the way around. Takes a while for this thing to zero out.
So far you haven't found...
Nothing that's really major.
Yep, no faults there yet.
I'm not 100% sure this is good.
Should we growl it?
Okay, armature, I always put that on the growler first because basically what you got here is a big electromagnet.
Yeah, it pulls them down pretty...
it just snaps in there real quick. So we'll plug that in, and you'll see that why it's a growler. It's growling at you.
Yep.
What you do is you take a hacksaw blade and see if it'll stick. So far it's good. Just keep testing all the way around. It should vibrate if problems, but anyway, that's testing good.
So far it looks all right. So I'd say it's a candidate to try to throw on the lathe and clean up.
Even if it's bad, it's a good test.
Yeah, good for test. All right, so you're set and ready.
We're set and ready. Got to get the cutter adjusted yet. Another thing I did have to do with this one is I had to turn out a new pulley.
Yep. Yeah, he made this one off of the other examples that
Yep.
we had. So
And when you find these, they generally don't send that with it.
yeah, they'll sometimes take the motor off, or
Yep.
if the motor's there, the pulley's gone, or
And then I have gone through and adjusted the motor so the belt should track. I like it to track over to this
yep.
lip right there. So let's crank her up. And this is going to be our maiden cut. Haven't
Yep.
tried this out yet,
We're
so we'll see
testing
how
it
it
out.
works.
So sounds good so far. The motor's quiet.
And just get a touch off here.
And you've got a new cutter bit in there, which we will cover in a minute, correct?
Yep. And lock her down and come back and see if I can order any more. Okay, let's start the cut. Might have to go deeper. Yep, I'm getting into the wear part of the brushes, so we'll take her down a little deeper. I do have a scale here. I should be able to follow.
Loosen the clamp. Turn it in.
We'll do another couple thousand, see what we got.
Tighten the clamp again and see what it does. It sounds good so far, nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cleaning up nice.
I feel like we're doing a real good job.
I think a lot of that too is that new sharp cutter. That helps a lot.
That's carbide.
Man, one pass, you might have this one.
Yeah, it looked worse than what it actually is. A lot of times we'd had a high spot, a low spot you'd miss, and a high spot.
Because we're just about out of the brush travel range right now.
So we'll stop and just come up to the. Okay, right there.
Yep. Turn it off.
Yeah,
Have a look. Yeah, that looks really nice. Nice and smooth. That's barely going to need a polish.
Yeah. So we'll back this off. Get that out of the way.
Yep. Are you going to test the undercutter on this one too, just to see how it works? I mean, seeing as we've got the fancy deluxe model here.
Yeah, we'll get that set up.
So you've got the undercutter all adjusted
Yep,
down.
got it adjusted. Should be pretty good, at least for a demonstration anyway. So
Yeah, let's see how it works.
there she goes. Nice and quiet.
It's hard to tell that little motor's even running.
Okay, so we get everything lined up, and then we'll run her down.
That's a lot smoother than the other one. Of course, you don't have that belt on there that's potentially stretching and
Yeah.
smooth. Look at that.
You're lined up.
I think I've got a new favorite armature lathe. And go around, all the way around like that.
Yep. I think what I'm going to do now is take this out and see if we got a taper on our cut.
Okay, yep, check it for square.
Okay, we'll check for taper.
And here's the test.
Make sure we're on the high spots here, basically.
Here's up at the top. 1771.
1772.
1772. Check that top again, just to see. Maybe it was. I thought it was close. We're right on the edge, 1 to 2. So
Yeah.
basically, that thing is square.
Yep, I like it. I think we're good.
Oh, I know we're good. That's
Yep.
excellent. I'd say less than 1/1000 taper, all down. So we know everything is running true, square. It's cutting nice. Now, I did have a question from a channel viewer about the consumables, basically the cutting bits, the belts, what have you.
Yep.
Don Hunt Rods says, excellent series on starters and generators. I've had an armature lathe for about 20 years I use occasionally. Where is the best place to get consumables for the lathe, such as mica cutter blades, cutters, belts, etc.? I live here in Iowa. So I guess we can start with the belt that we use, which is just a
Gates belt.
Gates serpentine belt. I think it's one we found at the parts store we tried. Micro V looks like it's a K050200.
Yep.
And what we do is we turn it inside out like that. So
Run it
that
on the flat
yep,
side.
so that the flat is on the pulleys, because it actually chattered when we
Yeah,
had the...
it's like a vibration. I don't know why it should, but on this rib side is a vibration. On the flat side, well, you see it move. It's nice and smooth. So.
Yep, so that's the belt that we use, and it's, of course, it's on a kickstand back here, so that motor pivots, so
And that has worked on every one of our lathes.
Yeah, we've used that same one on all of them. Yep. And then we have the round belting for these undercutters that do not have the dedicated motor. We source this stuff from McMaster Car,
and you find it all over on the internet.
Yeah, it's all over. All kinds of different sizes, different specs for it.
This is 3/16.
Okay, 3/16 OD orange round belting.
Yep.
And I can throw the number for it on the screen too. We can edit that in. But yeah, we make our own.
Made our own jig.
Yep.
A lot of experiment doing this, but yeah, you figure out your length, you cut it, and you lock it in here. I took my soldering gun with the flat tip and heated them up
on each end until they start to smoke and melt.
After it starts to melt, then you just squeeze them together
and hold it there
to cool.
Hold it there till it cools. Yep.
And it's a good strong bond.
And this is the weld, the joint right here. We had to take some of the mushrooming off.
Yep.
But other than that, we tried pulling it apart by hand, and it's together.
The only thing I did, you can see a little twist.
Yep.
Next time I do it, I'll make sure I have no twist. But yeah, you can.
It's good stuff.
I mean, that weld.
Yep.
You're never going to break it with this.
Yep. That's not coming apart. So you just order this stuff up in whatever length you want and melt the ends together.
I got a 5-foot length just to experiment with, and so far I've been happy with it.
Now on the topic of cutter bits, so we have a source for one new one, but we have no source for the other. So the one that we can get new is the main cutter for the commutator. And we source this from McMaster Car. It's carbide tip.
Yep.
All right. And we've got a McMaster Car number 3296A312. And it is classified as boring lathe tool, round shank, right hand, 0.320 minimum hole diameter, 4-inch overall length. So we've cut this down from the original 4-inch length.
Now here's the original that was with one of our lathes. You can see how it's flat, round, flat, one side. So all I did is I kind of positioned where I wanted this. I took and set screw down, made an indentation, just took a hand file.
Just made a little bit of a flat.
Yep. You know, this is my experiment. Maybe I had to turn it this way or this way.
It seemed like it cut pretty well, though.
But it cut real good right there.
Yeah.
And if I need to adjust this in or out, I'll just take a file and follow the same profile.
Yep.
So, yeah, this worked excellent.
Yep. So that is our recommendation for that cutter bit. But now the small sawtooth cutter on the Undercutter arbor, we don't have any source for that, correct?
Correct. I've looked all over, and I can find some, but I cannot find this size.
Yeah, that's pretty small. I think you could find slightly larger ones, couldn't you?
Yeah, but they had like 50 different cutter bits, and I think they had like 1 or 2 in stock. Out of 50 of them.
So
and nothing even close to this.
Pretty much, we're down to just hoping that we find lathes that have good sawtooth wheels on them, and then hope you never wear it out or break it. Really, that's about the best I can give you.
What I did, I have this undercutter here. This is an Allen, and I want to go through this, clean it up. You see it needs some electrical stuff.
Yep.
But that had a cutter bit on, and I think I scarfed that already.
Yep, that's been used for parts, yep.
So
we are looking ourselves, but that's kind of a tough item to find.
Yeah, if anybody knows of a source, let us know.
Yeah, post up down below.
So.
And as I mentioned, in case you do not have a undercutting lathe, they do have lathe attachments for, like, to go in the tailstock of a typical type lathe.
Yep, this number 2 Morse taper.
Yep, on the end there.
Got the brass jaws.
Yep.
See this one? I picked it up at a swap meet.
And this is a chuck just for,
Yep.
it would be the tail end of an
Yep.
armature in a regular type lathe.
Yep. And then you just use your lathe to cut the armature down.
You use the regular lathe chuck up on the commutator end.
And
then,
what I would recommend is using a 4-jaw chuck so you can square it up.
Yep, center it up, make sure there's no run out. Yep.
Make sure there's no run out.
Yeah,
stuff
you're going
like
to have
that.
to do that. Yep.
They do have undercutter attachments for lathe. I do not have that. You know, I could bit with this, the South Bend, and even the China lathe. I could get by with that. And I do have a separate undercutter here too, so I could get by with just them attachments and not even use these.
Options.
I like these better.
Yeah, plenty of options. So we ended up with 2 pretty good armature lathes. We're going to keep these 2 for sure. And I believe that other one is already spoken for. I think we've got it sold already. So we were hoping to have 4 total with 2 to get rid of, but we ended up with just 1 because you need parts units from time to
Like I say,
time.
that other one possibly could be tuned up. I don't know.
Yep.
I might play with it someday, but it is a good
But-
one now. So.
Yeah, I think we're just about armature lathed out for now, right?
Right.
So everybody, thanks Senior for his time. It's not easy to get him in front of the camera, but yeah, he's been doing quite a lot of work out here, but I think we've just about finished with the armature lathe restoration. So I'll get out of your hair.
Yeah, I gotta get stuff cleaned out for a new project.
That's right, out with the old, in with the new. So thanks for watching, everyone. This has been an episode of What Has Senior Been Up To? I hope you all enjoyed the show, and I hope to see you all back again.